Welcome to Fabulosity for you, and my name is Angie. If this is your first time watching my channel, please click the subscribe button, then click the notification bell so when I upload videos, you'll be the first to know. Like this video and make a comment. This channel is about fashion, relationship advice, and lifestyle. And this is not your first time visiting my channel. Well, welcome back, my queens, and welcome to the kings out there. Welcome to all of my fabulous ones and my new fabulous ones. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing the review of Atlanta Housewives, Season 16, episodes 9 through 11. Okay, so I'm going to catch you guys up. I'm going to just give the highlights because I don't want this video to be long. So let's get it started. First thing we're going to talk about in episode 9 is Cha-Cha's birthday. I can't leave her birthday out. Cha-Cha is Kelli's dog, and oh my God, Cha-Cha had her nails done, her hair dyed, her eyelashes. She had it going on, honey. They said, well, how much you pay for all of that to get your dog to look like that? She said over $1,000. I was like, what? Oh, wow. You know, she had entertainment. Cha-Cha had this pillow sitting down watching the other dogs entertain her. It was absolutely fabulous. Brit came with her dog, and it wasn't anything eventful happening, so we're going to keep it moving. So this is when the girls come back from Porsha's trip, okay? So Porsha is back at home, and she's telling her mom and sister about what Angela said. And she tried to downplay what she said. She tried to act like she didn't remember, and it's just a joke, and she wasn't supposed to hear it. And we all know she wasn't supposed to hear it, but that was just an awful thing to say. I will F your husband. Girl, what they do that at, okay? So then Shamea is going to get start her IVF, and she has a woman that Candy Burris used, the ex housewife used, and so she's going to carry Shamea and her husband's baby. So I hope it all works out for Shamea, because IVF, your emotions go up and down. It's not anything that's easy. So Angela tells her husband that she invited Drew to Porsha's birthday party. And he just was asking her, why would you do that? That's not right. That you was wrong for that. And she said, well, I really wasn't trying to be funny or messy. I just felt like they really needed to work it out. But he was like, but that wasn't your birthday party. So she said, well, I guess she was mad because then she told me that you were seeing a woman that lives in New York. So he was like, do you really believe that? And she was like, I don't really believe it, but I don't like them putting your name in their mouth. And I don't blame her. Talking about a husband or a child is wrong. She's sitting up starting stuff in these people's marriage. It's crazy. So then they show Porsha getting a live-in nanny, and the nanny's going to go between her house and Dennis' house. And she confronts Dennis about filming with Drew. And he tried to lie his way out of it. I just know he's a liar. So she's sitting up saying that Drew tried to hit on Dennis, and Dennis turned her down. Girl, that man wouldn't turn nobody down. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He lied about filming with her, so he's a liar. So then we find out that Brit's mom is selling her house, and she's going to come live with her and her husband soon. And then we're going to the June 10th Bailey Q's, okay? So Cynthia's friend is a prophet, and she invited her to the Bailey Q. She told her friend to give all the girls a reading. Brit, she felt like had such a real... Brit, she told her that she should choose herself, and her business would be successful. And she was glad to hear that, because she's trying to relaunch a business that she had. I think it's called Bare Naked. And and so she wants to relaunch it. And so she was glad that this woman told her that. Kelli comes in and the prophet says, "Oh wow, I feel your energy. You have such good energy." But she said to Kelli, "Why did your husband sell your car? Why did he sell your car?" And so she was like, "Oh my God, I only told Brit that he bought me a G-Wagon, and because we getting a divorce, behind my back, he sells my car." And so what that let me know is the car must have not been in your name. It was in his name, and so he felt like he wanted to sell it. That's petty, but when you going through divorce, people do petty stuff like that. So she tells Angela that her comfort level with her husband, she's too comfortable. She needs to get back and bring romance in her marriage. And so Angela was like, "I've been with my man for 10 years. I believe I know how to please my man. And what turns him on is watching me clean the house. Girl, bye. Girl, bye." Angela is funny, honey. And so all the girls, tried to jump on Angela. But before they did that, she told Shamea that in 2025, this is going to be her money-making year. And she was happy about that because she's got an album out. Then she tells Porsha. Porsha was like, "Everybody know, am I divorcing? Everybody know it. You can look it up." She said, "But yeah, you're going to divorce, but that man going to end up being your friend at the end of the day. Y'all going to end up being friends." Drew walks in the house and she was like, "I need to talk to you in private because I know you don't want me to talk around all these ladies." And she said, "I don't." And they busy calling her a liar and all this type of stuff because she told everybody that Michael Jordan was her cousin. Now, I thought she was joking because we know Michael Jordan is not her cousin. And she thought they knew she was joking. But because she said that, everybody's calling her a liar. So then Angela tells, Brit started arguing with Angela, saying, "I guess you need to, your man out there with another woman and have a baby and had a baby on you, so maybe you don't know how to keep the romance in your marriage." And she looked at her and she said, "Honey, you got a lot of miles on your mouth, baby. I can see all the stretch marks from you sucking a lot of penises. You nothing but a whore." I said, everybody was like, "What? No, she didn't." But you know what? Brit deserved all that smoke because you don't tell somebody they husband got a baby on the side and all this all kind of stuff and he cheating on you. And this could mess up somebody's marriage. Who does that? And she's a married woman. So why would she say that? So to me, she's supposed to got all the smoke that Angela had to give her. So they was all jumping in. Kelli was like, "Yeah, I heard that rumor too." They was all jumping on Angela. And so Cynthia had to ring a cowbell to shut them girls up. Then they ended up playing a game. And after that, Cynthia pulls Angela and Porsha to the side and said, "You guys need to talk and work it out." So they both decided, okay, we'll do that. And so Porsha's like, "Why would you invite Drew to my birthday party and I'm not cool with her? This was my day. I don't want to be looking at somebody that I'm not cool with. So what would make you think that would be okay?" And so she was like, "I was not trying to be shady. I promise you I was not. I just felt like you guys need to work it out, talk it out. And if you're not going to be around each other, then you can't do it." So that's why I did it, because I wanted you guys to work it out and talk. But I was wrong for that. I will admit I was wrong for that. But why did you say you wanted to F my husband? So she was like, "First of all, it wasn't meant for your ears to hear." And I'm looking like, and of course it wasn't. But it was still wrong. And she said, "Yeah, but why would you say that?" She said, I was just joking around. That's it. So Cynthia came in and said, well, you really did She told Porsha, you really did say some things that you shouldn't have said. You should never have made that comment. And you owe her an apology. So she said, well, she talked about my husband. So Angela was like, well, you know what? I am sorry. If I said anything to offend you, I apologize for that. So she was like, and so, okay, I apologize to you. That was wrong. That was wrong for me to say that. And I apologize. They hugged it out. They worked it out. So then Cynthia went and grabbed Shamea, and she said, Shamea came to talk to Angela. And she was like, I don't know why you calling me in here, because what did I do? She said, well, you being a married woman, Portia's your best friend. Instead of telling her, listen, girl, you wrong for that. He can't like it's funny, and you a married woman. People need to respect other people's marriage. And I agree. And that's what make her lapdog. Because she's sitting up here co-signing on stuff that's just not right, instead of being a real friend and say, girl, you was wrong for that. So I don't blame Angela for getting upset about that. And so they end up eating. Cynthia had a nice spread and everything. It was nice. So we're going to go on to episode 10. Shamea meets Drew's husband, Ralph. And they were supposed to be talking about some type of podcast. All of a sudden, Porsha walks in. And he said, I just want to say for the record, I did not know Porsha was coming. She said she invited Porsha because she don't want no rumors going around that she trying to get up with Ralph. So Portia's like, sat down, and right away, she pulls her phone out. And Porsha tells Ralph all about the text the dentist sent her. And it said something like she wanted to, she offered to have to get with him, have sex with him in exchange for beats that he's making for her. And he was like, run me my money. First of all, I don't even know if he even, he wrote it in the text. To me, this is all staged. This is all, I don't believe she tried to get up with Dennis. I don't believe it. And then she's telling her husband this. Again, these ladies have no boundaries with people's family. And Ralph, I can't stand Ralph because he wants to drag his Drew. And at the end of the day, that's the mother of his children. Have respect. So he said, oh, wow, she getting down like that? Was she still working for you? He was like, no. She said, no. So she said, what? Who filed for the divorce? So Porsha and Shamea set all this up to make Drew look bad. And so he said, I filed for the divorce. And they said, why? Because she cheated on me. Well, who? With Ty. And Ty, guys, is this female basketball player. And last season, it was rumors they was messing around. And so she was like, well, did you cheat on her? And he was like, no, which was another lie. So all he did was try to make Drew look bad. So I was watching, on a side note, I was watching Carlos King on YouTube. And she was on there, and she was real fragile. She was crying. She couldn't stop crying. But she came on. She said, I don't do interviews. But it hurt my heart that my husband, he's still my husband, would sit there and kiki and break bread and talk about me to somebody that's my enemy, that's lying on me. So he said, well, let me say this. Did you or did you not have an affair with Ty? Because he said that you guys had an affair. And so she was wiping her eyes, and it took her a long time to answer. Finally, she said, let me just say this. This man wanted an open marriage. This man has dragged me in the relationship, cheating on me left and right, not paying me no attention. He has been horrible to me, the things that I had to endure. Now, Ty was somebody that gave me attention. So I would say, was I flirting? Yes, I was flirting. I was flirting a lot. But did I sleep with her? No, I didn't. So no, I did not have an affair, and he knows it. But he didn't want to be the one to really file. But then he wanted to have something on me to file to blame me for it. Right after he said I was cheating on her, well, I did tell him that we flirted. All of a sudden, he files for divorce, and that's the end of that. So he really wanted the divorce all along, but he wanted to have something to put on me. But he's not going to put that on me. I'm saying right here on the record, I never slept with that woman. I did flirt with her, but that was it. So he said, well, did you mess with Dennis or try to come on with Dennis? She just laughed. She said, look at my husband, look at him. I don't deal with nobody with a big stomach. I'm not attracted to him, and I wouldn't do that. I did not do that, and I don't know where this has come from, because I don't know why he would say that. So anyway, she cleared her name on Carlos King, so you guys might want to check that out. So then, after all of that, they go to Angela, and Angela has 5 investment properties, and she's in $2 million debt because she couldn't sell her homes. Now Kelli is looking for a home because she had to leave her house in the divorce, and now they have to sell it. So she had to move temporarily to a townhouse, and with all her kids, it's just not enough room. So she's looking for a home. Angela was telling about her property, so she thought she'd come and check it out. It turned out the property wasn't worth what she was charging. The roof, the ceilings were not high, and it just wasn't. It wasn't a house she wanted to move in. But they sat down and talked, and Angela wanted to know, why would you say my husband cheated on me and had a baby on me? Why would you say that? Because let me just tell you that's not true. Wendy Williams got the story wrong. And after I had talked to Wendy and everything, she did retract the story. But at the end of the day, it was not true. Now, has my husband cheated on me since we've been married? Yes, he has. He did. And then we ended up separating because I'm like, he needs to get it together. And once he got it together, we got back together, we worked it out, and he's my best friend today. So why would you do that? And she said, because I heard the same rumor with Wendy Williams, and I'm sorry. And she said, I'm glad you was able to work it out. I'm going through a divorce, so I'm glad you and your husband work it out. Thank you for being open and talking about it. And she was like, yeah, I'm very transparent. All you have to do is ask. And I like Angela because, first of all, she keep these girls in check. She going to keep them in check. And she honest and going to say what it is. She not being phony or none of that. And they scared of her because she tall. So then Angela was telling her about Shamea, how she went to lunch with Shamea, and Shamea started talking about Porsha, which I was so shocked to hear that they not doing good in their friendship. And she was saying that Porsha didn't come to her wedding in Africa, and Porsha just don't support her in her endeavors. And Brit was like, Kelli was real. She didn't feel good that this woman was talking about Porsha and Shamea. Because she's like, what does that have to do with you? And why are you telling me? But that's what happened with that. So then Brit tells her husband about the argument she had with Angela. And so he got all upset, and she told him what she said. And he was like, and you should have told her that. I don't understand why she would even say something to you like that. So then Angela meets Porsha at her rental property, and they play tennis. And Angela was like, I'll let her come to my rental property because guess what? A woman talking about she would F my husband would never get in my house, honey. Would never be in my house. And I'm like, girl, don't you know that? I don't know why these women always let a lot of women come around in their house with their husband. Ain't no way in the world I would let Porsha Williams in my house, honey, with my husband. So after they play tennis, they sit down and she started telling her, I had talked with Shamea, and Shamea's feeling a way about you guys' friendship. She feels like you didn't come to her wedding and you wasn't supportive of her music and you really didn't want her on the show. And I just think, and she said, Shamea said that about me? And she said, yeah. And oh my God, that girl jumped up and cried and jumped and left her house and jumped in her car. And Angela felt real bad that Porsha was really hurt about that. You know. So then Drew's at home and she's talking to her therapist and telling her therapist the latest about what Porsha said that Dennis did and that he lied, and she doesn't know why that is when she thought he genuinely wanted to help her and succeed with the music. And so her therapist listened and he said, you have growth because I like how you handling things and good for you. So then Porsha announces she's having a Pampered by Porsha event and she wants all the girls, including Drew, to test out her new products. And then Kelli tells Shamea, how Drew had called her lapdog. Okay, and Kelli tells her about what Angela said to her. So one day Kelli was talking with Drew. She came over to her house and she had told Kelli that Drew was a lapdog. After she told her about what Porsha said, Shamea is a lapdog. I mean, I was surprised Drew was talking like that, but she said that. And then she tells her about what Angela said. And so Kelli is telling Shamea that you just need to clear the air with Porsha and just talk to her. That they really need to talk. And so at this Pampered party, this is when Angela was doing all the talking. I mean, this is when Kelli was doing all the talking to Shamea. So the event party was nice. They had robes, all her sheets. They had took pictures, beautiful, sexy pictures. But it looked like they was doing an advertisement for her products. And Shamea and Drew was like, is that why she invited me to promote her stuff? And everybody was like, is what this is about? And it looked like it was. But at the end, her sister was there and she does the yoga and breathing and they're supposed to be relaxing. And at the end, they said if anybody had something to say to Porsha. And so that's when Angela was like, I think you and Porsha need to talk. And so Porsha was like, okay, I mean, Shamea, I'm just really surprised that you telling all these girls about I didn't come to the wedding in Africa when me and you had talked about that a year ago and we resolved it. So you still upset about it? And so she was like, well, I am upset about it. And then she said, girl, we weren't even in a good place then. And she said, well, I didn't know that. She said, bottom line is, we resolved that. I came to one of your other, you had a lot of weddings. I came to one of your other weddings. I don't get it. And I don't get why you're telling everybody all of this. And she said, and I just feel like I can't even get a word in. And she said, listen, Shamea, this is not the time. If we're going to talk, it's going to be just me and you. Why would we talk in front of everybody? This is not the right place. And she's right. And she's right. Porsha's right. She said, so we are going to meet. We're going to meet out. So, Angela and it goes on to Angela. Angela and her husband are on a date. And she said she needs to talk to her sister. She said her sister is not appreciative of all the things that she's given her. And her husband was like, then you need to stop doing things for them. So, and that's the truth. I mean, if your and her mother is selling the house, or somebody's selling the house that she paid all this money for, her mother. And it's like, she just feel like money down the drain, nobody cares, and she does everything for them, and they just not appreciative. When her daughter was staying there, the sister was acting up. And so Angela and her sister really don't have a relationship. So the mother's in the middle, and she feel like the mother's on the sister side. So she got drama in her family. So Cynthia meets with Shamea, and Shamea said she felt blindsided about Angela telling Porsha what she said. And her sister was there also with Cynthia. And her sister said, well, y'all relationship hadn't been working for a long time. Now, I'm going to say this. I feel like if Shamea had a problem with Porsha, they've been friends since childhood. Why would she wait till she get on TV to tell her how she felt? Now, Angela said on one of the after shows on Bravo that she felt like Angela waited the long way, honey. She was her lapdog. She did all of that so she can get a peach. Now that she got a peach, now she got a problem with Porsha. So, before this, I felt like maybe Porsha was jealous of Shamea because Shamea living the life she want to live. I don't think Porsha's jealous of her, okay? I don't think so. I think that Shamea played the long game, like Angela said, befriended her, and was her lapdog so she can get a peach. And so that's how I feel about that. So then Porsha and Cynthia and her sister, I think Kelli went bowling. They all went bowling to cheer Porsha up. She tells the ladies about how her daughter Pilar misses her husband. And it's hard about what they're going through, And then I think she called the ISIS people on him. And he's been detained. He's still been detained. And so while he's detained, he can't pay the bills. He can't pay the house note that she's in. And they're saying she can't afford it. This is a sad rumor I heard. She can't afford it. So Porsha did go looking for another house. And that's because she probably going to have to get out that house she's in. It's probably going to go into foreclosure. And, regardless, Porsha really did take this man from a woman. And she thought that this woman living a good life. But what she don't understand, what some people don't understand, when you're looking in from the outside, it might not be what you think. So even though she bought this on herself, she do have a daughter. The daughter had a relationship with him. And she's hurt that this man won't give her daughter the time of day. But that's sometimes how it goes. She finally meets up with Shamea. And Shamea, she was like, okay, what's going on? And so this is what Porsha said to Shamea, what's going on? And she said, well, I just feel like you never support me. You are really not a good friend to me. And she was like, she couldn't take it. She's just like, and she said, even you sighing, it seemed like you're not taking what I'm saying. You don't care about my feelings, but I'm always caring about yours. And so she was like, and she got up and ran to the bathroom. She probably was crying. And then she came back and she said, what is it? What can I do? Well, I just feel like you need to be backing me up when I'm doing my music. You need to be my friend. She said, listen. I don't want to do this with you, Shamea. I don't want to argue with you. I don't. I've been going through a lot. And she said, and so have I. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Now, I admit, I have not been a good friend as of lately because I'm going through a divorce. I'm going through a lot. And I just don't have it to give. But what I don't want to do is lose our friendship. Why are you doing this? Let me just say this. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do. Because I want to save our relationship. So what is it that you need me to do? So she said, well, you need to be more supportive. I will do that. Well, you need to listen to me when I'm talking. Check. She said, girl, I don't want this for us. I told you, I'm the one to put the good word in for you to be on this show. So I didn't think this was going to happen with us. We can't let these ladies on the outside pump you up. And she was like, well, they told you. I said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this. Let's just work it out. And so she said, I'm sorry if you felt I haven't been a friend to you. And so they hugged, and she said she's sorry too. And, you know, my thing is, she could have done that a long time ago. Why wait till you get on TV? If you still had a problem with her about her not coming to your wedding, which was scandalous, then you should have got it straight. She said y'all got it straight, and you still bringing stuff up. So I don't know if this is Shamea's storyline, but I'm sick and tired of her talking about Porsha. And either you're going to be friends or you're not. But what you don't do is go to these girls and tell all y'all business. She could have pulled her to the side. She could have called her up on the phone. She could have done a whole lot. Okay, so we're going to go on to season 11. And Brit was having a party at the country club to relaunch her clothing. And everybody was dressed up with the big hats, and like it's a derby party, big hats, and they looked beautiful. But what I couldn't understand, Shamea comes in, Kelli comes in, and she wanted to get them on a golf cart and go out and play golf in their expensive clothes and their expensive shoes, and it's hot outside. Who do that? Who does that? And they was like, listen, it's hot out here. I wasn't expecting to come out here and play golf. They shoes getting dirt all over it and stuff. That was crazy. So then she has this part. They go in and inside the venue, and she noticed that it was a menu at everybody's table on everybody's plate when it should only been at the girls' plate on their table. She didn't have enough food for everybody. She only had food for them. And I had to I had to do a double take, because I'm like, why would you have a party and don't have enough food for everybody? If you can't afford it, then don't do it. Or you could have just, had drinks and hors d'oeuvres. It was crazy. So she was embarrassed. So the man had to come out there and say, the food is just for this table. And that's crazy. So the girls was really laughing at her. I'm like, wow, what kind of party is this? What kind of party is this? And so Angela comes in with her husband. And Charles had a problem with all of them, okay? As he should, because their names been in his mouth. And she sat there and she said, well, this is my husband, Charles, and no, my man don't have another baby by nobody, and my man not cheating on me. You got it? And he was like, no, I don't have another baby, and no, I'm not cheating on my wife. And so Brit was like, well, you the one that started talking to me. And she was like, listen, you the one that said that. Where's the receipts if it's true? Where's the receipts? So they start arguing and all of that. And let's see what else happened. That was the big thing at their on season 11 episode 11 was Brit's party. I said Porsha went to look for a house. She is just getting into looking at different homes. And I think that's all. So I'm going to end it here because I don't want this video too long. That's all I have. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next video.